Hey, what's up, YouTube? It's Richie from Boston. It's the 9th, it's May, and it's the year 2025. Or at least that's what they tell us. It's early in the morning, but I got things to do, so I got to get up earlier to make videos because I'm editing them now, which I never used to do. I used to just spit it and send it. Now I'm editing it because I'm home and I can do that currently, but man, it takes a lot of time. At any rate, India and Pakistan. The line of control. What is the line of control? Well, let me show you. So there you go. The LOC, or line of control, is almost identical to the DMZ in Vietnam, demilitarization zone. And apparently, according to India, Pakistan has violated it. So,
well, Pakistan continues to violate ceasefire on the line of control for the 16th straight day. 15 people are now killed with 43 injured in Punch. Pakistan resorted to heavy firing along the border hours after Indian forces struck 9 terror pads in Pakistan in retaliation of the 𝗦𝗵𝗿𝗱 terror attack. In response, the Indian Army has effectively countered these violations, employing artillery to neutralize threats. The ongoing ceasefire violations have resulted in major civilian casualties.
So all the drama is Pakistan allegedly attacked India, killing 26 people. And of course they were using Israeli drones because, you do know, right? At any rate, if you don't know, watch this video and you'll understand why the little hat people are always in the mix. I put this video up yesterday on RFB3. Yeah, I got a lot of channels, so I got to spread them around a little bit. But this video completely shows and exposes what I've kind of thought all along, but had no way to prove it at all. I've always considered the people in Israel that were placed there after Israel was purchased in 1947 by the Rothschild family and handed over to a bunch of Israelites, the apple of God's eye. But I always watched their behavior, and I'm like, these people are like a virus. These people are like the worst people ever. They've got these people in the Gaza Strip that were actually there. These people show up, and then suddenly they build a wall around these people, and all they ever do is kill them, torture them, attack them, rape them, etc. And it seemed like they were using Gaza as an open-air martial law weapon testing facility. Well, 581 days ago, there was an incursion, and there's a video I put up on Richie from Boston TV, BitChute, Odyssey, Rumble, called The Truth About Hamas, and it's made by people that actually lived there their entire lives, ex-IDF, Israeli Defense Force soldiers, etc., talking about how this entire attack was completely nonsensical, not real. It was basically an inside job. So, with all that being said, Pakistan killing 26 people in India has completely 100% escalated to nuclear war. That's it, nuclear war. And if you recall, back in the old days, remember the Event 201? Event 201, you remember that, because 1 month prior to the lockdowns, they had a tabletop exercise. We talked about it ad nauseum. Well, the other day, a fellow YouTuber called Minutes of Horror reminded me about a post that I put up 6 years ago from 2019 that was talking about India and Pakistan having a full-blown nuclear war in 2025. That's convenient. Isn't that convenient? It's not predictive programming. Predictive programming is when they allude to something. What they're doing right here is showing you straight up, this is what we're going to do. 26 people being killed is horrible. It's absolutely horrible, okay? I couldn't imagine, blah, 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 this, that, and the other thing. But it instantly goes from 0 to 11. Nuclear war. Well, listen to this. Back in 2019, researchers theorized that a major terrorist attack, initially imagined as an assault on the Indian parliament, would provoke India to mobilize troops along the line of control, prompting Pakistan to respond in kind. As tensions boil over, skirmishes and casualties on both sides would lead to rapid escalation. And that rapid escalation would, to them, or according to them, would be nuclear war. And nuclear war in Pakistan and India, because 26 people got killed one time with Israeli drones, that doesn't, we have skirmishes like that all over the earth all the time. And usually we're the ones involved. If we're not, it's the other folks. You know who I'm talking about. Yeah, them. But here's the deal. India is playing their part. This is the Great Reset. This is Agenda 2030. They're showing this to us right out in the open. And they're talking about the fallout, etc., would cause the sun to be blocked out. Because, what would a day in the life of the World Economic Forum and the New World Order be without blocking out the sun? You got to get rid of that sun. Nobody needs it. It's a problem. Come on. You ever get sunburn? Exactly. That's what I'm saying. But some strange things occurred, and do you remember this little funny, wacky thing that one time at band camp? Yeah, India's been in this since the beginning.
Fuck. Shit. Fuck. Shit.
Yeah, you remember that old chestnut, the mock ritual or real ritual? We never actually will know for certain. But here's a fun fact for all you young whippersnappers. Richie from Boston YouTube channel was the first one to put out that video. I received it at 5:30 a.m. from a YouTuber called Ron Johnson. And he lived in another country on the other side of the earth. And he sent it to me and I said, can I run with it? And I did. And CERN publicly had to address my allegations, not once, not twice, but thrice. And sadly, some of you may still have those videos, but I don't, because those were on the main channel, the main Richie from Boston channel that had 2,700 videos. That video was on there, and CERN had to say that was scientists blowing off steam when they originally tried to say it was college kids that snuck over the fence. And I refuted and rebuked them, and they had to come up with the scientist thing. But there's a little fun fact for you. Yeah. At any rate, CERN having the statue of Shiva out prominently on display as a gift from India, the god of destruction. Now, they try to rewrite history and say Shiva's a happy, friendly god. He's the one that puts everything back together after destruction. Well, you can't unwind that. You know what I mean? It's the god of destruction. India put it there. India is a major player with the world stage, as are all countries. Every country on earth, it doesn't matter who they are, They're all in this together. Everything is a political theater. Everything is a war movie come to real life, okay? 26 people got killed in your country. That's it. We're going to hit the button and blow everybody up. It makes no sense. But when you look at the prediction in 2019 and then 6 years later, here we are. There will be wars and rumors of wars. That was not an understatement. Let's put it that way. We're looking right down the barrel of it. And here's something that Minutes of Horror pulled up off the 2025 Economist magazine cover that is straight up gold, because I didn't see this, not even with my bad eye, no pun intended. So Minutes of Horror made the correlation between the newly appointed head of the World Economic Forum. You remember this fella, right? His name is 𝗦𝗵𝗿𝗱𝗮, and he was the guy that says that water is not a human right, and he wanted to patent it. Well, now he's in charge of the World Economic Forum, so they say. And if you look at the cover of the Economist 2025 magazine, you can see that there's a face on the front of it, and one eye's regular and one eye's red, which is identical. So they know this stuff all along. They knew that he was going to have a red eye all along. It's crazy, but these guys are literally using magic. You know what I mean? It's black magic, but it's magic nonetheless. Magic absolutely, without a doubt, exists in our realm. Many people have harnessed it, and they're usually the richest, wealthiest, worst people on earth. Period. You see what I'm saying? So why am I bringing all this up? Because we're living in the end times right here. You know, I love certain channels, and they present the same type of information as I do, but then they say, I don't think any of that's going to happen, this, that, and the other thing, and they don't offer any, they don't tie it all together. They just move from story to story to story to story, not understanding that we are literally in the greatest story ever told, the greatest story to ever live. We're living in the end pages of the Bible right now. Right now. Wars and rumors of war. Pakistan and India are just completely full-blown all of a sudden after what we would consider a small terrorist attack. It's all part of the plan. We're watching this play out in real time. But here's one thing I can't not say this. Nuclear weapons are not real. Nuclear weapons are not real. I know. Yep, you just rolled your eyes. You just took off your tinfoil hat and you're not listening anymore. But here's the deal. Nukes aren't real. Bombing somebody so bad that it might look like it was a nuclear weapon, yeah, you can do that. Carpet bombing with thousands of B-52 bombers, yeah, we can do that. We've done that. But nukes, they're not real. Because if they were, Nagasaki and Hiroshima, the only countries that ever been bombed with nukes by us, are thriving, beautiful jungles and have been for decades. How could that be? You need to be open-minded on this. And I'm showing you Nagasaki and Hiroshima today. They're thriving, they're beautiful, they're grown over. Tons and tons of people go there and visit all the time. But yet, we nuked them. Where's all the radiation? Well, back when we first created the first ever nuclear weapon, we did it perfectly so there was no fallout or radiation like Chernobyl or in, other places. This is a modern day bomb going off in Iraq, leaving an enormous mushroom cloud. Mushroom clouds are not exclusive to quote unquote atomic bombs or nuclear weapons. Know that. Also, remember the video I did years back? Everybody covered this. But the quote unquote fireworks factory going off in Beirut, right on the shipping dock. Remember that one? I do.
And there you can see the enormity of what appears to be a secondary explosion. Whether that was
yeah, it was just clean. No, it wasn't real. It wasn't real. But it was the ultimate virus. It was the ultimate pandemic. It was the ultimate Osama bin Laden before those things existed. You see what I mean? And now that, and I'm going to say this, now thanks to the truth community, for all our quirks, we're all people. It happens. It is what it is. Over the years, we've been covering this stuff ad nauseum. All the news that nobody else is watching, while they're playing video games, while they're watching anime, while they're figuring out what gender they may or may not be, etc., or teaching children what gender they may or may not be. Some of us are reading the patents. Some of us are standing on the wall watching, making sure. And we see what their plans are as they lay them out. And many times they've had to change their plans because we told what they were going to do to the degree if they did it, people would know. But we're at the point right now with, thanks to, genetically modified food, things that we covered before it was even a thing on my YouTube channel, and others, I'm not saying just me, but we covered this before it was a thing. When they first genetically modified a salmon and a tomato, we made a big deal out of it, but people got outraged but didn't do anything. They got outraged online. When I figured out that they were fluoridating the water, because I was a plumber and I saw the fluoridation tanks inside the water treatment facilities. When I discovered they were spraying the skies, barium, strontium, aluminum, and then whatever else. All of those things are heavy metals, and all of those have side effects, dementia, autism, and everything else. You see what I'm saying? Do you notice in the uptick in society right now? So these guys going to war, I'm seeing it happen because it's exactly 100% part of the plan, and nobody's going to stop them because no one's going to really go much further than making a video, making a meme, or commenting. People just will not stand up and fight anymore. They've pretty much bred it out of us using everything at their disposal. Television, frequencies, fluoride, chemicals, medications, recreational drugs, etc., etc. I know a lot of people that are Christians that don't mind drinking a little bit of wine. Wine's in the Bible. But I know a few people that are Christians that definitely hit the hard alcohol a lot and still think they're holding the commandments. I got to mention to you, hard alcohol is called spirits for a reason. Now, I'm saying all that to say this. Be prepared. Live every single solitary day like it's your last. And one of these days you'll be right. But do not live with a heart full of fear. I'm not fearful. I'm not fearful at all. I actually started to walk away from all this because I wasn't getting any views, etc., etc. People didn't seem to care, blah, blah, blah. But when things really started cranking up, when I started seeing the border being flooded, when I started seeing our government flying people into our country, they didn't have to sneak through the border. We were just flying them right in. When I started seeing things like that, it reignited a flame. And now that flame is a fire. And I'm not going to stop until they drop me. And one of these days, they absolutely will. At any rate, take a look at this right here. I did this last year. I'm doing it again this year. If you can help, help. If you can't, you can't. It's all good. And it's been a year since I did this, so I'm doing it again. I'm doing a GoFundMe, and for the 5 biggest donations, I will come to your house as long as you live in the continental United States. You know, you're not in Alaska or Hawaii. Hang out for the weekend or for as much time as you've got to spare, and do what I do with everybody else. Help you build a greenhouse, sit down and talk, do a live stream, whatever. And for the 10 highest, the 10 people that come in closest, we'll do a Zoom call, we'll do a live stream, things to that effect. You know what I'm saying? This worked out really well last year, and some of the people that I met are now what I would consider friends for life. I mean, several of them I talk to every single solitary week, and I hate the telephone, but yet I still do it. So if you can, do it. If you can't, it's all good. You know what I'm saying? But I gave away far too much since the lockdowns, and I left myself very short. So I can't afford to do what I was doing before. So I'm going to have to lean on you guys. If you can, do it. If you can't, it's all good. Links will be below.